Right. So today, by the end of the lesson today, you will have practiced writing test items for reading comprehension, and these will target, first of all, getting students to demonstrate they understand the main idea of paragraphs, understanding the main purpose of a whole text, understanding specific information from word and phrase level, specific information at sentence level, and possibly, if time, understanding connectivity of ideas, that's cohesion throughout a text, using cohesive markers. Okay, we'll also have looked at some practical design principles for test item design. Right, so first of all, on the handouts, have you got handouts at the back? Have you got handouts? You got these? Yeah? Have you got them? You got them? So the first thing I want to look at then, and we'll do this together, is how we can create. Are you with me on this? There's lots of chatter. I don't know what's. So how we can create a matching statement for paragraph 1. So in the end, we're going to have lots of different matching statements for the different paragraphs in the test. Okay? So at the moment, we're working on one matching statement for paragraph 1. And essentially, this will be a paraphrase. This will be a paraphrase. But it will be a paraphrase that does not give too much information away. Because if the paraphrase contains too many of the words that are in the original paragraph, then it will be easy for the candidate to match and just do mechanical matching. So we have to take away the words. So the words that we need to include as far as the meaning is concerned are those in grey for this one. So we need to include those meanings, the grey meanings, but we need to try to avoid using the words themselves. Okay. So the first thing to decide, and another useful technique, is to start the matching sentences with a function word. Okay. So here I've given the function word to you. It's describes. Other function words, can you think of other function words generally? Any function words? Says, tells, those are rather empty. Any more? Claims, indicates, suggests, advises, complains, any of those, okay? So this one I've chosen is describes. Describes what? What's this paragraph then describing? Tell me. It's also paragraph 1 on your appendices as well. What's it describing? Is it describing baby teeth? No, because otherwise it'd be talking about small, tiny, milk, okay, falls out at the age of 5. So it's not describing baby teeth. So we can cross that one out. But one of these grey texts are probably the best starting point. Is it describing dental decay? Is it? Well, how would you describe dental decay then? Your teeth turn black. Or green first, then black, but mine are a bit green. And then they fall out. That would be dental decay. Well, it's not doing that, is it? So, which one? Process of elimination, we can find one which fits best. What's the paragraph describing? Starting word.
Patience.
Well, it's not really describing patience either, is it? Because it would be, if you're describing patience, you'd be saying some are thin, some are fat, some are happy, some are sad, some have. So that would be describing patience. Hmm? Describing the consultant in dentistry. Consultant in dentistry, is that a thing or a person or what? Consultant in dentistry. It's a person. It's a person. Consultant is a person. Describing the consultant? No, again, that would be a physical description or talking about their personality. So we're getting there slowly. None of these work at the moment. Which one works?
Sugar habits.
Describing sugar habits. It could be that one. Have we got sugar habits there though? That could be a different starting point, but that's not one of my highlighted words. Okay, so let's start with normal day. Let's start with normal day. Okay. So let's suppose it's that one for now. The paragraph describes normal day. Normal day. But we can't use normal day because otherwise it will be repetition. So we need a synonym for that. You've got one? Can you think of one?
Daily.
Daily what? Because daily is an adjective.
Daily routine.
Let's try. Shows the daily experience, okay? Describes the daily experience of a dentist, okay? Except consultant is maybe not quite a dentist. A consultant is a bit higher than dentist, okay? And in a way it would be good to avoid the word dentist here as well if we can. Dentistry is what kind of profession? Education? Health. Health describes the daily experience of a health what? Health experts. You could say experts. Okay, that's a kind of evaluative term. A more neutral term is health professional. Okay, so this paragraph describes the daily experience of a health professional who has to deal with the what? Teeth problems, dental problems. Teeth problems is not very good English. It's not a very good collocation. Teeth problems, okay? Dental problems, yes, but we've got dental there. But actually, there is a relationship between this food industry and the problems. What's the relationship between the food industry and the problems? Causes, okay? But these problems are not the causes, are they? They are they're the results. They're the results of something. What's another word for results? Consequences, okay? So let's just have a look. I've got lots of red arrows here which point to different problems, okay? So we've got extracting 20 baby teeth, extracted more than 100 teeth, dental decay, okay? Those then are all the, what was the word again? Has to deal with the consequences of what? Consequences of what? Okay, but actually the rotting teeth part here, as well as obesity, the rotting teeth is also attributed to food industry. Okay, so the consequences of what or who is the cause of the problem? No, they're not the problem according to this. Yeah, but where's that coming from according to this paragraph? We've got this here. Food industry giants blame fat. Okay. But fat is not rotting their teeth. What's rotting their teeth? Sugar. And who's making the sugar products? The food industry. Okay. So the food industry blames fat. But actually, what this paragraph is saying is that it's the sugar made by the food industry. So, what's this then? Has to do with the consequences of sugary treats. So what would sugary treats be here? Synonym for sugary treats. A synonym for sugary treats. Sweet food. Consequences of sweet food. Sugary diets. Okay. Although there is a slight problem because they've got the word sugary. But I have at least replaced treats with diets in what? In production, in young children. Okay, fine. So that's sorry. Here we've got then a paraphrase of this particular paragraph 1. This paragraph describes the daily experience of a health professional and has to do with the consequences of sugary diets in young children. So that's a paraphrase for the first paragraph. Now I want you to do something similar with either paragraph 1 or paragraph 2 or paragraph 3. Right, I'm just going to split you into groups. This side, can you look at paragraph 2? You do paragraph 3. Okay. You do paragraph 2. You do paragraph 3. Okay. You do paragraph 2. And you do paragraph 3. So what I want you to do now, on your own or with a partner next to you, work on trying to deconstruct the paragraph and then reconstruct it. The words in grey I have identified as containing the main meaning that you have to capture, but at the same time you cannot use them if possible, so you have to replace them. Okay? So can you try and do this now? I think about 5 minutes.
report 是这个前面我们写了
describing a fact. So yeah, so you could say informs, giving information. A fact about what? Yeah, so informs. Remember, if possible, just like the first one here, it's a good idea to try and think of a function word to start with. This paragraph complains or advises or suggests or tells us or explains or informs. Okay? What is the paragraph doing?
An article has been of
Okay, this is good. This is going in the right direction. So if the students see the breakfast in your matching statements, they just have to find breakfast in the paragraph. That doesn't show they understand.
declining consumption of sugar.
Okay, that's going in the right direction. It's a bit worthy. That's good. Yeah. Ideally, you need a function. This one. Something like that. The problem, this paragraph describes the problem, but how does that carry on? That's not the matter. This paragraph describes the problem. that leads to a relative clause which is not there. You can say the problem of. That means the problem of. Then it needs to be a problem of. So the focus here is good. I'm going to 2 minutes. Okay, but you get me. It's a body. It's a public body. Okay, or a pressure group, but that's fine. Or a government organisation. Right. Can you stop there for a minute then? And we'll try and do some feedback on this. Now, for this, can you look at page 1 of the handouts? And can you see where it says feedback? Can you see feedback part 1? Okay, and you've got a little rectangle here for paragraph 2 and another one for paragraph 3. Okay. If you have been looking at paragraph 2, you focus on paragraph 2. If you've been looking at paragraph 3, you focus on paragraph 3. Well, now can you get your phone? Okay, and I want you to go to HP Reveal. I want you to go to HP Reveal on the phone. Okay. You'll probably need your headphones in for this. So you've got that? You'll need your headphones if you've got them. Just do that first of all. Okay. Now the next thing, if you have difficulty doing this, you're going to have to share with someone else's. Because we will not have time to sort the problem out, okay? So then, you're onto HP Reveal, and at the bottom you should see a little blue square. Click on the blue square, and you'll see some white dots, right? Now, take your phone and shine your phone onto your paragraph. And then you will find my explanation of this paragraph. What you then need to do, listen, what you then need to do is take notes on my explanation, because afterwards, paragraph 2 people are going to explain it to paragraph 3, and paragraph 3 people are going to explain it to paragraph 2. Okay? So over to you now, start listening to my explanations. Paragraph 2, paragraph 2. If you haven't got it, there it is. Not probably not. Remember, you should be taking notes so that you can teach the other paragraph person. You've got 2 minutes. 30 seconds left, okay? Right, can we stop there? And I'd like you to do what you can. So what's going to happen now is, can you close the phones down? And this line, could you turn around and face the people behind you? This line, could you turn around and face the people behind you? Okay. Right, can you and can you switch places? We're going to look at these two. So we've got So now can you teach each other the paraphrasing process for your paragraph? Okay?
This one country. Over there and the blueberry is just the sweet normal and so you get played by one very useful very common living. This is part of the so then the network effect together they provide all the total daily intake of added sugar recommended for adults. So the meaning is around 30 simple meal have the sugar more than so we paraphrase this is simple, very simple, common simple daily meal contain much more sugar than we may think.
Through a typical breakfast. Then you cannot use breakfast instead of meal.
Okay, fine. Let's stop there. I'm not going to go back over this, but of course you can access the explanation to this anytime you want by shining your phone on whichever of the two squares, the two paragraphs. Okay, so let's move on now. Can you now look at activity 2? In fact, before we do look at activity 2, could you just look at the appendices, okay, where it says writing practice, and can you turn over to appendix 2? Can you see appendix 2, which is this document? Okay, and can you see the first set of questions, 1 to 7? Yeah? Now this is a complete test item, and actually what we have just done is worked on 3 of these items. There are actually 7 paragraphs, and we have written summaries of paragraphs 1, 2 and 3, and you will find those summaries amongst the A, B, C down to I statements. Okay, they are there somewhere. But this is like a completed version. So this is to find general idea of specific paragraphs. That's what this test is doing. Okay, so that's what we've done. So can you close that down now, because we're now going to go on to the next stage of the test. So put that away. I don't want you to look at it again because it's got the answers on it. So put that down. So now we are going to look at designing items to test the complete meaning of the text. Not just each paragraph, but the overall text. So can you look at activity 2? So what we need to do here is devise 4 whole text summary sentences. And again, you can use function words. This text does this, or the purpose of this text is to. Okay? So we're designing sentences which summarize the purpose of the text. What's important in this design is that you have to design 1 true sentence and 3 false sentences. Okay? But the tricky thing is to make sure that all of them somehow include references to sugar, sugary, diet, intake, consume. They must all have those kinds of lexical items in them. Because if one of the summary sentences is completely absent of any of these words, then the students already know what?
It's wrong.
They already know it's wrong. So you have to try and use the lexis of sugary diets and the food industry. You have to use those in all of the 4 items so that they are satisfactory distractors. Okay. So your task now is to write 1 true sentence and 1 false sentence, okay, about the whole text. So can you do that now? Back over to you. If you have already read the text, which you should have done because it's a preparation activity, then you should not need to read in much detail, okay? Can you stop for a moment? Some of you, I can see already, are staring, and some of you are already writing. Okay. It's very easy to stare and sort of think abstractly. It's more difficult to write. But actually, the process of putting your pen on the paper and trying to write something somehow activates your mind in a more constructive way. So you've got to try and make yourself put the pen on the paper and start writing, crossing out, doing again. That's fine. You must be doing that. Don't just stare. Okay? You inform that person. So you cannot inform the problem. inform somebody. So, informs, or it could be us. Us, the reader. Text informs us, but then we need a preposition. The text informs us. Not due to, us. We can say informs us or informs us of, or informs us about. For each of those different things. Okay. It's not bad enough. It's the wrong option. It's wrong because it's making a comparison. That doesn't. Can you tell me why it's wrong? What's the connection between this part and this part? The text is called, not this called, this is called. Okay, is the main topic obesity or sugar? So really that needs to be in there. Obesity is part of the argument, but it's the main issue so is this going to be your false statement? Is this false? Summarizes. It's not followed by summarizes the fact that. But then can you summarize a fact? So that would not be a summary. Summary is so you wouldn't summarizing the fact, it's not logical. Possibly, could do that. But there is something that moves to the word. Anyway, that's what we need to think about. Okay, it does this, but I think it also goes on to go to the end of positive things as well. It starts with yeah, something like that. There needs to be maybe a second part to the summary. That's the correct answer. This is not correct. Okay, fine. Except it's not only about obesity, it's also about activity. So that needs to be a reduction. Can you give me 2 minutes, okay? I have not given you this one. We've got the register around anywhere. Register. Thank you. Has everyone signed it? I'm going to have to take it back so we'll see it later. Right then, so let's sorry, leave it there for now. Let's have a look at this then. Would anyone like to volunteer to me a true sentence? A true sentence. Or shall I call out a name? Yeah? What's that name?
The text explains the close relationship between sugary diets and obesity.
Explains
The close relationship.
close relationship between
Sugar diets and obesity.
sugary diets
Sugar diets.
and obesity. What do people think about that? I think that's, well, grammatically that's great. It's a very well formed sentence. Is there any content that's missing from that for it, just to make it feel? I think there's a little bit of extra content that could be included.
I think the action part is missing.
What do you mean by action part?
So government suggests sugar daily.
Okay, fine. So that's exactly it. We need to add that little bit of positivity to the end of the statement. So we can simply add on. The text explains the close relation between sugary diets and obesity, comma, we can put there to make it just, and suggests, it's not a matter of suggestion though, because some of these solutions are already in action, aren't they? Okay, so, and what? And we need a verb. We could say some possible actions or solutions. Actions or solutions. So, one word here, and verb. Gives, and gives some possible actions or solutions. That would work. Gives, or describes. Okay, gives or describes. So let's put gives for now, which is absolutely fine. Okay, the text explains the close relationship between sugary diets and obesity and gives some possible solutions. That kind of works for the true sentence. Okay, right, so we'll leave that there for now, and let's look at one or two more of these. So here we've got one. So the purpose of this text is to discuss. Look at this one. The pros and cons of sugar in our daily food intake and make suggestions for a more healthy lifestyle. Is that true or false, that one? Does the text outline any advantages of sugar intake? No. No. So actually, this is quite a neat trick to create a false sentence. If your text is only a critical text, okay, then you can add the word prose to your summary statement, and it automatically makes the statement false. Okay, so you can do either or. You can add pros or cons, or add them both, and that will make the statement false. Let's have a look at another one. So the purpose of the text is to complain about. Now you can tell me immediately if this is a true or false statement. False, because this text does not complain. Actually, it's not that subjective that it's complaining. Okay. So all the rest here, that we are consuming too much sugar and to advise us, okay, well, we've got the idea of consumption and sugar, so it's a good enough distractor, but the function words here are wrong. Okay, so it's another easy way in to making a false statement. Okay, now the next one is the true statement. Let's see if we can build it up together. Yours might be better than mine, actually. We'll see. But let's see. To inform us, the purpose of the text is to inform us what? What's the immediate grammar of this? To inform. To inform us. It could be that. Or it could be, what prepositions can follow this? Inform somebody of, or inform somebody about. Okay, we could use those. So let's see. About the. Okay. Also notice here, though, we've got a direct object. Informs us. It's not to inform about here, but to inform us about. Okay, so it informs us about the what? The problem. Let's have a look. Oh, the amount. Informs us about the amount of high sugar food we need some kind of clause here. High sugar food which I think we can put a subject which causes health problems. We could say that. I think we can put a subject here. High sugar food we eat. The high sugar food we eat. The amount we eat. So it's talked about that. And then what's the next? The problems this causes and possible solutions. Okay, so it's not far away from that. The only thing is I've included quantity, problem and solution, which I think are the three main elements here. Okay, right, and there's another false one afterwards, which I think D. Okay, to summarise, and one person had a very good idea. This is a useful technique. Of course, this is not completely false. To summarise different campaigns that are currently trying to persuade us to reduce our food consumption. Okay, this is not completely false, but it only occurs in one or two paragraphs at the end. It doesn't capture the entire text. Okay. So that's why this is wrong. It focuses only on one paragraph. Right, okay, fine, we'll stop there, we'll have a break for a couple of minutes. Okay. Okay, I want to start again because we've got lots to do. So, are we ready? Ready? Actually, I can turn this round now because I can turn it around because I only wanted to video the. Right. So here's a sentence that we want to target, okay? And we want this sentence to be paraphrased. The target words are going to be baby teeth, but let's not worry about that at the moment. What we just need to do is paraphrase the entire sentence. For now, can you please not look at my handouts? Don't look, just look at the board. So cover up activity 2 on there, okay? So, it's not unheard of for me to remove all 20 baby teeth. Can anyone paraphrase that sentence in another way? We want to move away from direct speech here. This is direct speech, but we want to move away from direct speech because that is a clue in itself. So we don't want this as direct speech. So if we don't want it as direct speech, we can make it third person. So then how? Okay, Claire Stevens, we could start there. Okay, I want to go back one though, all right? We're going to keep it third person, but let's start with some synonym of not unheard. It's not the first time. It's not the first time. That might work. It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon works. Can you think of another word instead of common? It's not unusual. It's not unusual. That's a song from the 1960s. It's not unusual. You can look that up. I love it. It's a great song by Tom Jones. Have you heard of Tom Jones? Okay. It's showing my age here. Tom Jones is on a show at the moment called The Voice, which is a talent show. Okay, he's a judge. Okay, it's not unusual. So let's start with that. That's the target gap. It's not unusual. Preposition here is for again. It's not unusual for. We can already see some problems though with this. How could this help with mechanical guessing? Is the original sentence containing a double negative? Yes. Does the paraphrase contain a double negative? Yes. Okay. Is there a preposition for in the original sentence? Yes. Unheard of for. Okay, and also unusual for. So we've got lots of parallel language there, which may make it too easy for the students. Okay, but anyway, we'll come back to that. What's the next bit though? It's not unusual for. Okay, so it's not unusual for Claire Stevens to remove all because that's going to be gapped from a what? From a baby? From a very young child. Okay, so we're moving some way towards the paraphrase here. We need to first of all deal with this one. Okay, because we've got remove in the original sentence. So what can we do? Synonyms for remove. Get rid of. Get rid of. Yeah, you're laughing because it's rather colloquial, rather informal, and doesn't quite match with the tone of this. So we couldn't use get rid of, although it has the right meaning, but the wrong sense, really. Any... Yeah, I heard. Take out. Take out's probably the best one, so let's have a look. It's not unusual for Claire Stevens to take out or extract. Which is better, take out or extract? Oh, mixed opinion. I think take out's better. Can you read my mind? Why? Which has, in everyday language, from your own feeling, which one is more frequent or more likely to be familiar with the candidates? Take out, okay, take out. It could be that the word extract is a level of lexis which is more difficult than the target word remove there, okay? So we don't want, it's not fair on the candidates to make the paraphrase more difficult. We want to try and make the language of the paraphrase as simple as we can. So it's best to use the simpler language if possible. Okay, so we've got that from a very young child. So we've got that still. But now we've got to change the double negative. So how can we do that? How can we change the double negative? You've got to think out of the box here and think of a completely different grammar for it. Who is the sentence about? Claire, okay? Claire Stevens. So let's start with Claire Stevens as the subject. Occasionally, Claire Stevens, or quite often, Claire Stevens, what? Yeah. Take out, but we want the correct grammar. Quite often, or occasionally, Claire Stevens, take out. Not grammatical. Are we talking here about the current situation, the future, or the experience of Claire Stevens up to now? Experience up to now, which is past to present. Past to present causes us to use which tense? Present perfect. Okay, so occasionally Claire Stevens has taken out. Does she want to take them out? So we need another sense in there as well. A yes? Had to. So give the occasionally Claire Stevens has to every day or in the past? Has had to. Occasionally Claire Stevens has had to. Has had to. Grammar lesson here. Has had to take out, and now see what else I've done here. A complete set of. What is that replacing? All. Simply replacing the word all. Okay? Because all is also a clue. Because if we have, I've done it here as well, sorry. if we have all there, the candidates can find the word all and just look for the gap next to it, okay? It's again mechanical guessing. So we remove that as well. Or we extract it, or we take it out. Sorry, we remove all. Okay? So occasionally Claire Stevens has had to take out a complete set of baby teeth from a very young child. Let's go back. So here then we have what is a reading for specific information sentence. If the students can decode this, and if they can relate it to this sentence in the original text, and then if they can identify baby teeth and put it here, it shows that they understand the meaning of the original sentence. Okay? So this is a way to deal with reading for specific information using gap fills. So now can you do one? Can you look at this one, which is paragraph 1. What frustrates her most is that dental decay is almost always preventable. Food. So we've got this part of the paragraph now, but it's not the complete paragraph. It's just this element of information. So can you try to create a gap fill where the word dental decay is gapped? Right, but then we want to recreate the co-text, the surrounding text, as a paraphrase. Can you do this in exactly the same way? Okay. Back over to you. That's right. That's right. You're focusing on the right hand approach here. That's a rule that's used. It's not. I don't know what it means. Points. Oh, it's a point. Okay. That's a point now. Okay. What many of you are doing correctly here is identifying the sort of mental operations verb, which is frustrates, okay? And you are giving that verb the subject of Claire. So, Claire does something, but we can't use frustrates. But we can't, Claire is frustrated, we can't say that. Okay? But the starting point here is definitely Claire. Okay? Then you need a verb that describes what Claire feels or is doing. Peddling. Any idea? Can you guess what peddling is? Peddling sugary treats. Peddling treats. Come on, buy my chocolates, it's wonderful. Come on, buy my cakes, they're wonderful. Come on, buy it. I'm peddling. Selling through advertising. So peddling is selling or advertising. You might try and use this word as well. There's a link between preventable and advertising and food industry. You need to make a link between preventable and peddling and food industry. Probably with the word if. Mix them up a bit. If preventable, advertising. Advertising, preventable. Dental decay, preventable. If advertising. Have you written anything down? You need to write. Can you write? Give you 1 more minute. Okay, let's stop there. I'm not going to ask for suggestions because we need to move on. But so let's start with Claire then. Okay, Claire. Then we need a verb.
Feels.
Feels. That's quite good, isn't it? Frustration is a feeling. Okay, so Claire feels what? She feels desperate. She feels upset. Why? We can make it a little bit more positive than that here. Make it more constructive. Don't think about the frustration, but just think about the blame and the cause. No, Claire Stevens thinks that, feels that, could work. Feels that what? Well, we've got here, I've already put the gap in. Feels that, this is the gap. So she feels that dental decay. Right, so. Right, but what did you say before that? She feels that dental decay could be avoided, okay? Hypothetical situation, dental decay could be avoided. What's avoid the synonym for here? Preventable, okay? So we've done that we've made an adjective into a verb, and we've found a different piece of lexis. So preventable becomes avoid, okay? So, but see what I've got might be could be stopped, okay? I put stopped there, slightly simpler than avoided, okay? But could be avoided, could be stopped, what? If the what's her argument? If food industry, okay, that's there, but I don't know if we've got it. If the advertising of what? High sugar foods, okay, what's this replacing? Sugary treats. Was reduced, sorry, there we go. Was reduced. Okay, so that's a paraphrase there with the gap fill where the students have got to write in dental decay. And this will also indicate they understand the meaning of the original sentence. So now can you look back at the finished test and see what this looks like? So if you look at, on page 8, it's marked as questions 8 to 12. Can you see? So complete the following sentence with a word, phrase or number from the text, maximum 3 words. Write the word, phrase or number in the lines below. Yeah? So if the students can understand that paraphrase, link it to the text, the original text, and write the correct gap, it shows they understand it. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, which are also 5 questions, 1 mark each. Okay? You got that? So far we've done 3 sections of this test. Right, can you close down again? Okay, close down again. We're going to go back onto one other technique now. Okay? Of course, another technique for reading for specific information is simply to identify true or false sentences. So that's what we're going to do now. On the slide, I've got lots of examples of this activity 3 type gap fill. okay, which you can look at later. These are all activity 3, but we're now going on to activity 4. This is all activity 3. Still activity 3, loads of them. Activity 4. So, for you, it's really now exactly the same process. What we've got to do is take this part of the paragraph. Now, so it's not the whole paragraph, it's only part of the paragraph because it's specific information. Okay? So we've got to write one true paraphrase for this extract. I think it's paragraph 6 on the main text. Pressure from the health lobby coupled with national support for sugar reduction from supermarkets. So here, what I want you to do is focus on the positive response from the supermarkets, because it is. The supermarkets are responding positively to the problem, and write a paraphrase on that. Okay? So back over to you, see what you can do with that. One way to do this is again with function words. Okay? Complain, suggest, inform, agree, disagree, approve of. Okay? Think of a function word in relation to supermarkets. What is the supermarket's attitude? Can you focus on this line? national support for sugar reduction from the supermarkets. That's what we want to target here. So we can begin with supermarkets as the subject of the sentence. Supermarkets. Are we going to write a positive or a negative sentence about supermarkets? Positive, why? Which word is telling us that? Support. Support for what? Okay, sugar reduction. So the supermarket support. Who else supports this approach? The health lobby, because we've got this word couple. Okay, so supermarkets support. We can't use support. What was that? I heard it. Bring. No. If you support what someone is doing or not, agree. Supermarkets agree with what? With reducing high sugar food. Supermarkets agree with reducing high sugar food. Okay, but let's see if we can deal with that anymore. 5 supermarkets agree with the need. Possibly, we could cut some of this actually, I think, but the need. What would be the next bit of grammar? Need of. I'm in need of a drink. I am in need of. I am in need of. That's a pattern, but I need. The pattern is I am in need of, but if we use need as a direct verb, I need to. Okay, with the need. It could be another preposition as well. The need to or the need for. Okay, could be either of those. I've got the need to. Okay, agree with the need to what? Reduce. Find ways. Maybe I don't need that. Maybe it's a bit too wordy. I'm not sure. Find ways. I think I was trying to look at this, take another look, but. Find ways. What's the next bit of grammar though here? Find ways to reduce the amount of sugar in our food. Okay. With the need to, maybe we can cut out find ways there. So there's that paraphrase. Okay. That's all we'll have time for with that, but can we just go back to the original test for a minute, because I just want to show this to you. So if you look at the original test document, if you look at questions 13 to 17, and I just want to take this through because this is an interesting alternative to true, false, not given. Can you look at the sentences A, B, C, D, E, F and G? Okay, you can see the first one is the one that we've just done. But what is the instruction here? What do students have to do in this particular item? What do they have to do? They just have to choose the true sentences and write them down next to 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, which means there are 5 true sentences, okay? This removes the need for having a not given category. Okay, you've just got 2 categories and you just move the true sentences across with distractors there. You could possibly have 1 or 2 more distractors, I think. Okay. Right, okay, fine. So we're going to stop there for today.